I do like people, just not very many of them. This is the Saturday after Black Friday, so I'm not technically opting outside, but I guess this is my version of it. I really need to be home right now. I've never forgotten as much for a trip as I have for this one in particular. My ribs front pack that my mother so lovingly calls a fanny pack is at home. So no GoPro, no external mic. So this is all in-camera audio, sorry. Let's see, what else? Gloves. I'm wearing gloves. These are from Walmart because I left my gloves. These little thin touchscreen compatible gloves, I have a real issue keeping those, well, just keeping those. This makes the third pair that I've lost. Or maybe this one's not lost, but just left behind. I just bought this pair because I did legitimately lose my other set in Zion. Those are left behind. I don't think I've left anything important. I'm not entirely sure about that though. So we'll see. But itinerary for the trip. This is just an overnight backpacking stay. No camera. And if you're new to my channel, you'll say, what are you recording on right now? I don't consider this a camera as far as taking landscape photos goes, which is usually the goal of my trips. I just want to get out and kind of test my cold weather gear. It's supposed to get down into the mid to low 20s tonight, so you know, not severely cold by any stretch, but significantly below freezing. So I just want to kind of ease into the cold temperatures. I'm camping at along the west prong of the Little River, campsite 18. It's supposedly a really pretty little campsite. I've never been there, but it's only about 2 miles away from the car. So if by chance I did forget anything major, I'll just hike back out. Or if I get too cold, which I'm not anticipating, I can hike back out as well. No big deal. Another thing I forgot, a watch. I don't know what time it is. I got my cell phone so I can pull that out and look, but it's probably about 3:30 in the afternoon, and it is not dark, but getting there quickly. So I'm gonna have a lot of time to kill at camp tonight. I expect it to be pretty much what they call it, backpackers midnight by 5:45, 6 at the latest. So that means I'm going to have a lot of time to kill. Another real bummer about this is campfires are banned in the Smokies right now. Tennessee has had, and it will really the entire southeast has had an awful drought. Lots of forest fires right now, in fact. So no burning in the park. That is that's a bummer. A campfire is a morale boost for sure. In addition to just needing the warmth. So I brought along my Kindle. I'll read for a bit. Sign pointing me in the right direction. It'd be nice to read. I haven't done that in a while, so that'll be nice. But yeah, we'll just hike along. Right now I'm hot. It's about mid 40 degrees, I guess, Fahrenheit. I'm really hot, so probably need to shed a layer. But this is all about just getting out for a night, testing out the gear, see how it does, how I do, and just enjoying opting outside a day late. So we're here in late November, obviously, the day after Black Friday, and I've got to say the fall color is mostly gone, well past peak, but it's still a really pretty time of year. I didn't expect it, quite honestly. I really do enjoy the quality of light this time of year with the sun not getting high in the sky. You got a really warm tones, and just the way it kind of filters through the trees. There's something pretty special about that. But it's really pretty. It's tough to capture on camera, at least for the type of photography that I do. It's much too chaotic, but to just get out and experience it, I gotta say I'm really enjoying it. Also, a benefit of the leaves being gone is you start to get views. You can see distant mountain peaks that would otherwise be obscured in the spring, summer, and early fall. So yeah, I didn't expect it to be this pretty. I thought this was kind of just going to be a dreary test hike, but I gotta say I'm really enjoying it as far as the scenery goes. How's it going? Now, I did pass some hikers a few minutes ago that said they did see a tent set up at a campsite I reserved, which is kind of a bummer. So the way backcountry campsites work in the Smokies is you've got an online reservation system, and most campsites will take between 8 and 12 spots. So I reserved it yesterday or the day before, and I was the only person to have a spot. There were 12 total available, and yeah, I was the only one, so I was really hoping that I'd have the entire place to myself tonight, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. Kind of a bummer. I mean, that's part of the joy of getting out here, is just having alone time. Okay, side note about that. I kind of come off as someone who doesn't like people. That's not true. I do like people, just not very many of them, and not very many in one spot, particularly the campground I reserved. So I actually did invite people to go with me on this trip, but they couldn't make it. So yeah, just a little side note back there. I'm a friendly guy, I hope. Anyway, where was I? So, probably shouldn't admit this, but I'm really hoping this campsite has water. It's supposed to, according to the backcountry website information, but I don't have any. And all I've got for, there's direct sunlight right in front of me. All I've got for meals are dehydrated meals, and obviously no drinking water. If there's no water there, nothing to eat. So this is really turning into a how to not backpack. So basically everything I do on this trip, don't do, we'll be in good shape. I'm probably about half a mile away, and something actually went right for a change. I can hear running water, so I know that despite my best efforts to mess it up, I will have water tonight. So it looks like the trip is a go. It's gonna get dark quickly in the mountains. Of course, you've got the peaks obscuring the sun, and right now, or it just dipped behind a peak that I passed and it got really dark. So yeah, gonna have a lot of time tonight to pass reading, not sitting by a fire, trying to stay warm. Should be fun. Alright, so I'm packed up, just heading out. It was a good night last night. I arrived, picked out a spot, and got my tent set up. And I guess it was about 4:30 when I got there. So I was kind of hungry. I fixed a snack of ramen noodles. And my intention was to later on have dinner. But anyway, with no campfires because of the fire ban, didn't have much to do, so I laid in my sleeping bag and read my Kindle, The History of Naval Warfare in World War II. Not joking about that, actually. I'm a World War II fan, but it turns out reading naval history while camping is a good way to go to sleep. which I did not intend to do. So I guess I went to sleep about 7 o'clock, which is not ideal. I woke up at 9, but it was way too cold to fix dinner. So I just kind of laid in my sleeping bag. But then I remembered all my food was still out. So around 11 o'clock at night, I woke up again and kind of improvised my own cable system to keep away from bears and critters. And then went back to sleep for a little bit, woke up at midnight starving because all I'd had was ramen noodles like 7 hours earlier or something. So reluctantly got out of my warm sleeping bag, went back, unstrung my bear bag and grabbed a snack. Overall, I stayed pretty warm. I guess about 5 o'clock this morning I started getting a little chilly, so I put on my down jacket and went back to sleep. Despite having to get up multiple times throughout the night, I feel really refreshed. I slept really well overall, so that was nice. I don't always sleep the best when I'm camping or backpacking, but last night I slept pretty good. I tried to do a video going over the gear I use, but it's kind of sloppy, didn't work out too well, so I'll just kind of go over that right now. As far as cooking systems go, I use the Pocket Rocket. Really compact, just boils water obscenely fast. And you gotta get those isobutane canisters, which are everywhere, so a really handy system to have. For food, oh yeah, and I boil the water in the GSI Kettlist. It's got the kettle, 2 cups, and a little, I guess a cup and a bowl, and a little spoon. So it serves me well. I usually just eat dehydrated meals from Mountain House. Varying opinions on those. I don't find them too bad. They're terrible for you. Never look at the sodium in those things. Same with ramen noodles, but usually that's what I eat. Simple, very lightweight to carry. As far as shelter goes, I use a Big Agnes Copper Spur UL1. It's really lightweight. I think it's just over, right around 3 pounds with the footprint included in that. Like I said, it's nice. I can barely fit my pack in the vestibule if there's going to be weather at night. The only problem is I'm 6'4", and they don't really make tents for people my height or taller. Single one-person tents. So my feet are either hitting the how's it going? My feet are either hitting one wall or my head's hitting the other. Usually that means I wind up with cold feet at night. Speaking of night, my sleeping system, I've got the Therm-a-Rest Neo Air x-therm. I believe I got that right. It's a air mattress or an inflatable sleeping pad, and man, that thing is nice. It's pricey. I think new it's over $200. I bought mine when REI was having a sale, but it's kind of its claims, it's really warm, and that's accurate too. You can rest your hand on it, and within about 10 seconds you can feel the heat radiating back off of it. It's really nice. I actually tested that pad out in my backyard earlier this week. It's the coldest night we've had this fall. It got down to, I'll try to keep the sun out of it. It's the coldest night we've had. It got down into the low 20s. So I just wanted to see if it kept me warm. And it did, until about 4 a.m. and my feet got cold. So just this week I picked up a closed cell foam pad. Can't remember what it's called. This is a Therm-a-Rest. I'll annotate it. Just to give that extra insulation between the inflatable and the ground. Last night, I'm fairly certain it got down into the teens, because I passed a hiker this morning. They said when they started hiking it was 23. So combining the pads was again pretty effective. I stayed warm until about 5 this morning, but again my feet got cold. So I'm gonna have to look at solutions for that. What else? That's pretty much it. All the other gear you guys have seen in the past. Had a really good time. It's a neat little campsite, campsite 18. You're right beside the river. Actually, one of the times when I got up last night, I looked up and there was no moon. And it's been a while since I've seen that many stars. Been to a relatively dark sky site, so that was neat to see. Just a really peaceful evening, sleeping about 30 feet away from the river. So all this is kind of building up to a trip I've got planned out in Utah. I'm going to take one more trip this winter in the Smokies. I may bring my camera along then, my large format camera. I haven't decided yet, but yeah, I'm just testing systems out, enjoying being outside, having a good time. Hope you guys enjoyed.